What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 73 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, it's Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. What's going on, guys?
I'm just going to have to interject here for a second and say I was real excited that you came back with your fancy switchboard, and then it didn't do the fire noise, so I had to add it.
It didn't do the fire noise?
I didn't hear it.
No.
Scott saved it, though, and he did the fire noise.
All right. I will. I said technical difficulties. Like I said, I literally rushed to put everything together before the show tonight. So I'm lucky. I said I even have a mic. I was so happy. I was like, yes, I get to do the fire noise one more time. I can't believe it didn't work.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, so weird.
It's okay. It shows up, but yeah, no audio.
Yeah.
We are in a new environment tonight, Jeremy.
I am at a very
coming along.
Yeah, so I said I have officially moved into the new house. Like I said, we are officially settled. And I'm in the process of setting up what hopes to be, I said, my ultimate office. So like I said, the very first thing I want to do is I had to get my Pops on display. Found these awesome, like super cheap $23 shelves on Amazon that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble, and these are probably going to be super shitty. But they actually ended up working out pretty good for displaying Pops. They display Pops two to a row pretty good. I have some storage from behind the rows for some Pops that I don't want to display. So they actually worked out really, really good, and they're customizable, so you can make them as tall or as short as you want. So
yeah, they fit really good, right? Like there's no on both sides they fit nice, and top to bottom they fit really good too. I like that the best.
Yeah, talk about taking a gamble, and I didn't even measure that.
Yeah, nice.
I literally ordered a couple. I'm like, you know what? Let me see if these are going to work. Got the first batch in, built them, and I'm like, these work out perfect. I'm like, and so then I ordered, basically I said like 4 or 5 other kits to make the four giant shelves.
Nice. Looks really good. It displays your collection well. I love how you have the comics on the side there too. All your graded comics.
Yeah, I gotta have. Like I said, it's my little homage to Stan Lee.
That's a Funko cereal.
Rest in peace, Stanley. I got my cereal down below.
The cereal looks good too. You can't see it, but you posted on Instagram earlier today.
Yeah, so it's finally becoming an area where I'm like, you know what? Like I said, I feel like it's becoming home. So
nice. I listened to.
You gotta have the nerd room.
Yes.
I listened to the newest episode of 3 Beers and a Mic. This past week, and I had sent them a question, so they answered it, and they're like, "Oh, the STS Guys, like they're an Arizona podcast," and like, "Well, we're Texas boys." So I had to message them back on Twitter. I'm like, "Well, we're kind of a Texas podcast now too."
Not exclusively anymore. I have to go in and change the website because I can't. I used to try to take the claim of the best Arizona one, but I don't. Now I can say the best in Arizona and Texas.
Or how about Southwest?
In the Southwest.
Well, the biggest
region.
change is I noticed that Jeremy switched his Instagram handle. He's no longer AZ Germs. He's TX Germs. So if you want to see his display, check him out at TX Germs.
Yes. TX Germs. Yes. No.
It's funny. Me and Larry both looked at each other like, "Do you realize that Jeremy switched his name?"
Like that morning too. I think when you did it right away.
Yeah, I had to switch it up. I had to change it.
AZ doesn't work anymore. So.
It doesn't work anymore, especially with me not being there anymore. But like I said, it doesn't prevent us from podcasting. I said it's nice to be back. All 4 STS guys back in the same setting. I gotta get a stand for this camera because I see it jiggling and it's driving me nuts. But that's beside the story. So we'll fix that at another time. So, what else has been going on with you guys this week?
My toilet broke.
That is newsworthy.
My upstairs bathtub leaked into my downstairs dining room.
So Jeremy, you leave for Texas, and the rest of the STS guys have plumbing problems apparently.
Yep.
House is falling apart.
Yeah. Our houses are crumbling. You need to come back. You are literally the glue that keeps our bathrooms together.
You know what? Like I said, I'll have to arrange a trip back out there, so that way I say, you know what? I'll be your personal Roto-Rooter or honey plumber, whatever the hell service you guys got out there now.
Personalized service. at its finest.
Yeah, my aura will help fix the problem.
Just you coming back will just all my plumbing problems will be solved.
Hey, Jeremy, take care of this. Good seeing you, by the way.
Yeah.
So you might say it's been a week.
It's been a hectic week. It's been a crazy week.
It's been a crazy week for everybody here. So, oh boy, I just kind of want to get started because I really am curious as to what you guys thought. I know this week we were going to go into and talk about the Umbrella Academy, which was a comic series that I was a very big fan of, and I'm very happy it got a TV run. Right, we'll call it that. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. So, Jeremy, I know that you've also read the comics, so I want to get your impressions first. What were your thoughts on Umbrella Academy?
Well, before we get too much into the thoughts, I'll kind of give a little bit of backstory of what Umbrella Academy is.
Yeah,
because I think that's kind of important in regards to kind of some of our thoughts.
Sure.
So for those of the audience who doesn't know what Umbrella Academy is, Umbrella Academy is, like I said, it's a Dark Horse comic that is actually written and created by, I said,
Gerard Way.
Gerard Way. So,
if that name might sound familiar,
as the lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
If you don't know who that is, we're not friends.
Yeah. Really, like honestly, that's about the short and skinny of that.
So, like I said, it's been a comic series that came out, I think, back in 2007. I want to say. Like I said, I could look it up in Wikipedia, and I have the Google in front of me. But I'm gonna say 2007. I said
I think it was 07 or 08. Like it was like late 2000s.
Yeah. So like I said, it kind of slept underneath the radar for a little bit. Then it actually really took off because Umbrella Academy was part of Free Comic Book Day back in 2008. I want to say. I said it was almost a year after it came out for Free Comic Book Day, and it was that Free Comic Book Day issue of basically issue number 1 of Umbrella Academy that kind of actually put it into comic book fame. So it had kind of some followers, anyways, just from kind of the crossover from the followers of My Chemical Romance. But then it started to kind of gain traction as an actual comic book once it actually came out as a Free Comic Book Day comic book. And then a few years ago, like I said, it was kind of a tease that Netflix had acquired the rights to Umbrella Academy, and so it actually a project that's set on the shelf.
Yeah, as I say, they got the rights to it and then kind of did nothing to it. I honestly thought they bought it just to prevent somebody else from doing something with it at the time.
And I thought I'm curious to kind of see your guys' thoughts on this. I think this comes at an interesting time. And I think the reason why they bought the rights is because they knew eventually said they weren't going to have these Marvel rights. And I think the show is coming out at an interesting time. They canceled the Marvel shows. And now, like I said, they already renewed Umbrella Academy for season 2.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, man. The timing couldn't be better. It comes in right when they cancel the Netflix stuff. So it makes sense. They're trying to distract from that now.
Right. So let's give a little story background on kind of the premise of the show, because I think that's kind of important too. So Umbrella Academy basically starts with, was it 43 women who were not pregnant in the morning when they woke up, suddenly give birth to a child with a superpower one day back in like 80s-ish, right? Like the kids are about 20 or so by the modern day.
Show-wise, it was 1989.
1989. So yeah, so like in the 80s, the this like kind of crazy old rich dude was able to adopt 7 of them, which he basically trains like he's Professor Xavier of the X-Men, right? Except he's kind of a sadistic old bastard, right? Instead of letting the kids play and have fun, it's basically 100% training all the time for the kids, and he's kind of an asshole. And just the comic itself and the whole storyline is kind of off the wall. Like, their butler is a talking chimpanzee and one of the guys is stationed on the moon, and there's like aliens exist in this universe, and there's like tons of weird, wacky, just off the wall shit is the best way I can put it. That kind of rounds out this whole weird storyline. And that's kind of, I guess, the adventures of what would happen if child soldiers grew up to be dysfunctional adults with superpowers is I guess the best kind of allegory I can have for it.
Yeah, well, like when they were kids, right? They were like a superhero crime fighting team called the Umbrella Academy, right? That's where the name comes from. That was their like X-Men-ish name.
That was their like they all have like a little like tattoo of the Umbrella Academy, like their logo and everything. And I think it was in the comics, it was set up that the hope was that they'd have a first generation and then more generations would come in or they'd be able to build it. But it really didn't get much more than those original 6 or 7, depending on how you want to really classify the number of kids. So.
Yeah, because Vanya doesn't count, right? Because she doesn't have superpowers. She wasn't part of the Umbrella Academy team. She was always off on the side.
Yeah. So it's I'll put my thoughts out here because I know personally, like, I really enjoyed the comics because at the time it was just this batshit crazy comic that was out there, and I felt like the stories that they told were, to me, what would happen if those type of like superpowered individuals, like kids with superpowers that were regimented and trained, when they would rebel and grow up, how would they turn into like functioning adults? And I really think that this is kind of what we would actually get in terms of superheroes. Like, we're not getting like X-Men level of like, adults that have like these big problems. I mean, like Klaus is a freaking just massive drug addict. Like, none of their lives have turned out very well. And it's really great to see that, like, I think if you're a person that has superpowers and you're told you're special every day, and then you turn out to not be that special, like, this is how you would turn out. Like, you'd be a basically piece of shit adult. And I think that it highlights that perfectly.
Yeah. And like I assume the comic's the same, but like one of the main themes throughout the show is just like that dysfunctional family, right? They're all adopted brothers and sisters with, like you said, the weird kind of eccentric dad. That's really the main theme is these guys who kind of grew apart and each had their own quirks, but they need to come back together. Because the dad died.
Because the dad dies.
I didn't really know anything about it coming into it, and I'm probably the least behind out of all the guys because I didn't have a chance to really catch up. But I did watch the first episode, and it's got me intrigued to keep going. It's definitely a weirder show. It gives me that X-Men vibe a lot, which is okay, actually, because, teams of superheroes is always fun. And it's not like superhero in a traditional sense, at least from what I'm getting so far. It's kind of like more of a modernized version, maybe. But it's good. I like where it's going. I can't help but think about the other Netflix stuff they've done and, trying to distract us from that. And they do kind of pump up the violence a little bit. Is the comic normally violent like that? What you guys read?
A lot more violent than the show.
Yeah. Really? They're We'll get into some of the I think Jeremy and I can at least speak to some of the differences from the comics and what did they adapt from the comics into this show, because they did do a little picking and choosing. But yeah, the comic is very violent. like and it's very quirky. And here's a question I have for you guys, because you guys have all seen it enough. What did you think about the music choices?
Go ahead, Larry.
I think they tried to do the cool, hip Guardians of the Galaxy kind of soundtrack thing that everybody's doing now. Like, there were some good song choices, but I almost kind of feel like that's getting overplayed, right? Like Suicide Squad had it, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 had it, Ragnarok had it. Like, it's like everybody's doing these cool, like, fun 70s and 80s songs.
Yeah. I think Larry hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, right?
So you guys didn't
overdone.
You didn't like the little kid, number 5, killing everybody to They Might Be Giants, Istanbul?
No,
not really.
Like, it's fine, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we're getting to that point where I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah. Well, there's that scene in the first episode where they're all dancing in the house to that one song that's playing.
I think We're Alone Now by
Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really nothing happening. It's just watching them dance. And I feel like in Guardians of the Galaxy, it was better because the songs were always kind of moving along the scene. It didn't really feel like I totally agree with Larry. It felt like it was just overused idea.
Yeah. No, so that's the point I was hoping you guys would say, because that was, I think, one of my biggest gripes with the show. It was, I think they tried to keep like the quirkiness of the comic by throwing in this kind of like weird musical aspect. And I get it. The creator's a musical artist. I don't know how much input he had into some of that, but they were maybe trying to capture some of that idea, but a lot of it just didn't fit. And there was a lot of musical stuff that came out of the show, and I was like, why was that part in there? Like, why did you make a whole song and dance about that little scene? And that, I think, was the one thing that kind of was like, dude, why?
See, I didn't mind it because I said to me, I said the entire show feels like, and I said I know, which I said it's gonna sound like a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing because I actually kind of like it. It's like, to me, it's like a more campy version of The Watchmen. Just because it has, I said it has a little bit lighter tone than The Watchmen, because in The Watchmen, like I said, everyone's just miserable and it's a dystopian society. So I said it's got a little more upbeat than The Watchmen, but it's like I said, more campy. It's like to me, it reminds me of a more campy version of The Watchmen. So
it definitely has that kind of grittiness that Watchmen had over like your traditional DC and Marvel tellings.
Yeah, so I actually didn't mind the music choices. I just think it was, like I said, with a few of them, like I said, it was kind of shoving them in there. Like, so honestly, like I said, I think the awkwardness of, like I said, kind of to the example Nate brought up of, I think we're alone now, with a Tiffany song. I think that one kind of works just because it shows kind of the awkwardness of every single character as it goes along. But then some of the other like kind of montages, like I said, it's just that those felt a little bit forward.
Yeah, the one that I think got me the most is the actual dance number in, I think, episode like 6 or 7 that they have, where
with Luther and
number 3,
the other girl,
when they have their little dance number, and it does the whole like rom-com like background changes. They're suddenly in like different clothes, and like it became a rom-com for just a second. And I know that it's like it gets wiped away out of the whole thing, but that I was watching that whole section, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is this here? I think that was the one that really pulled me completely out of it, to be like, that had nothing to do with the storyline.
Yeah, I might have fast forwarded through that dancing scene because I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. I get the gist of it. Fast forward, please.
Yeah.
So we didn't say the S word yet, but clearly spoilers.
Oh yeah.
And there are some fairly major spoilers in Umbrella Academy season 1. So if you haven't watched it and you're worried about that kind of stuff, you might want to jump to the end when we're talking some Funko Pops and some Mezco 112s.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, like,
and you're worried about that kind of.
Yeah. With this show, the one aspect about it is the plot becomes highly complicated, right? I think that was one thing, like, I realized as much as I like the show, when my wife walked in about episode 5 and was like, oh, this is interesting, like, what's going on? I'm like, all right, so we got to go back to the first episode, because I tried to explain it from like that point, and I'm like, there's so much weird shit. She's like, why is there a talking chimp? I'm like, fuck, all right, like, I got to go back and talk about this. Like, there is a lot of weird stuff, and it is not a show that you can just pick up and watch. Like, that is the other kind of issue that I have with it. It's not something like, if you miss something, you're going back because you're like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
I think that I've only seen the first episode, like I said, but it just kind of throws you into the story. It doesn't really explain much. So you kind of learn as you're going. And I agree with Scott that, if you miss a little bit, you're going to have to rewind, because I had started it, kind of was doing something. I had to totally go back because it already gone too far,
Yeah.
So you really got to pay attention.
Same here, dude. Like I watched about half of that first episode. Like I was multitasking and I realized I had to stop because I wasn't paying attention and that I had to kind of go back and rewatch it. So yeah, same for me.
They cram a lot. They cram a lot into the episodes. And I think it's one of those, I think this is one of those shows where, like, as much as I don't want it to be more episodes, I think they could have actually split this up into more episodes to kind of like break down the pieces a little bit, especially with a property that people aren't necessarily familiar with. I think it requires a lot of different explanations, and I said a lot of different kind of like backstory, because you have to create the backstories with all of these characters, and to basically have almost like a team montage type show. You definitely need that kind of a little bit slower pace in order to kind of explain the differences in the backstories of the different characters.
Yeah, I think this one is the few shows like Jeremy, you're 100% correct. Like I always complain about Netflix shows like being 13 episodes, they need to be 10. They could have broken this into two. This could have been season 1 and season 2 and given me a little bit more character development. Like some characters get focused on really well, but others I think come out and you're like, I still don't know like very much about it. Like number 2, Diego, like a lot of his stuff is yeah.
You said number 2.
Yeah, I did. Diego is basically like, you're like, oh, he wanted to be the leader or whatever, and he's done. And then like they don't even really talk about what his power is. Have you noticed? Like they never bring it up in the first season.
No, not really. He's really good with knives, right? Is that what it is? I don't even know.
That is in the at least maybe they're doing it in this show, but in the comics, he doesn't need to breathe. That's his like story. So he has like unlimited stamina.
I didn't
he has
catch
like
that at all.
Unlimited stamina and can hold his breath forever.
Okay.
So
I was wondering if he had heightened reflexes or something.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. He just that's a superpower, and he's really damn good at throwing knives.
Yeah. I just thought he was really good at knives because he always has a knife.
Yeah. So it's just this weird thing where they never brought it up, and that was the thing I think they should maybe because the people aren't aware of these characters as much, spend a little bit more time. Maybe give me some more flashbacks about when they were kids and them developing each of their powers a little bit more.
Do you think they're still developing their powers? Because like Klaus didn't really realize all the stuff he could do kind of till the end of that last episode.
Yeah.
Is that like maybe that's what's going on with number 2?
Number 2. And again, I think it has a definite possibility for that. And like Klaus is the greatest one where he thinks his power is just talking to the dead people, and then he finds out like, no, he has like way more intense powers than that. And yeah, maybe bringing it on like this thing. Like I love the monocle is the father, right?
Dr. Hargreaves.
Dr. Hargreaves.
Yeah.
I love the idea that character kind of knew. It was almost like he knew the path that was laid out and what would happen to the kids, and basically like that they wouldn't get to a certain point, so he takes a drastic action to make it happen. I thought that was kind of cool that there's that. And then we're going to get into a really big spoiler territory here. Larry, you've seen the end of it, right?
Yeah, I finished it. Jeremy, did you finish it?
Yeah. Well, I have one more episode, but I said I know what happens in the comics, so
So we'll get into differences, but we're going to spoil a little bit. At the very end, they basically are like, well, you know what? Let's basically use number 5's stuff to go back in time to when we were, young again, and basically start over. Do you think that is something that the monocle knew about and that is basically was planning on them? Like, it almost seems like he kind of knows like multi-dimensional kind of stuff. Like, do you think he knows that they're going to come back and start again?
Absolutely. Just because I hate saying spoilers. This is because he's not human.
Yeah. They
touched on it.
They touched on it in the show, right? Like in the spoiler, they didn't really show the space thing, but it shows him, and then he looks out a window and there's all the spaceships, and all of a sudden he's in like Victorian Earth, right? So, right. So they kind of hinted to his alien nature. Is there an elephant in Larry's room? Like, what was that?
No, that was my wife pushing in a chair.
Oh my gosh! So like,
he's got Dumbo in there.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is that? So, the fact that he like shows up in this one kind of to after his death be kind of a guide and person to Klaus kind of hints that when they go back, he's gonna already be aware that they've altered time and have come back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I really like the scene with Klaus and Dad in the barbershop. Like that was really cool.
Okay, so I will say this. Everyone did a really good job with their characters, but goddamn do I love Klaus in this show. Like, the guy who plays him did an amazing job to play that character.
Nah, he was my favorite too, man. Like you said, I like them all. Like, especially for an ensemble cast like that, I really liked all of the characters. But Klaus is my favorite.
No, and I think it's you get characterizations where it picks out, like I said, the perfect characters they should be, and that actor portrays perfectly. I said the mannerisms are kind of like I said in the comic, like he brings the comic to life, brings Klaus from the comics to life.
Yeah, exactly. This is the whole drug addict stealing from his dad, but then like the next time they see him, he's like wearing one of his sister's dresses. Just why? And he can't even explain why. He just has it on. He's like, oh, I just thought it'd be fun. Like, that whole idea is amazing, and he plays it off so well that you're like, I could see that guy doing that.
And one thing I had to say though that's kind of amazing too in terms of like characterization is the amount of money kind of Netflix kind of brought into bringing Pogo to life.
Oh my god!
Like I said, like
yeah.
He honestly said it reminds me of like he's got the same look and the same kind of like authentic feel as in like from as Caesar from Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Like like I said, he looks fantastic. Like for a non like high production, like super high production movie.
It was definitely movie. It was movie level CG.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think they knew, that he was going to be a main character. They had to make him look good, and it's really believable. And I think they've had some practice with that. They made Mowgli, which is about the Jungle Book, and it's got a lot of CGI in that. So maybe that was their lead up into this to try to make, an ape in that movie and see how well they could translate it to Umbrella Academy or something. Yeah, but it looked really good.
So cool. So, Jeremy, let's get into some of the things, because both you and I have read those comics.
Mm-hmm.
What I took from this is because Volume 3 is still technically going on, right? Like the hotel, whatever, I can't remember the title, Hotel something, just came out like
Hotel Oblivion.
Hotel Oblivion. And I think it came out in like first issue of that one came out in like October of last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So
released in 2018, yeah.
Yeah, so this one, it looks to me as like they took the first two volumes, kind of mashed them up, shook them up a little bit, and gave us this show.
Well, because this is all based upon the Apocalypse storyline.
Well, it's the Apocalypse storyline, but you have Hazel and Cha-Cha, which don't show up, and the whole time-traveling bureau, which is like the Tempus Aeternalis in the comics, the commission in the show.
Yeah.
That was all from, and the whole Klaus goes back to Vietnam accidentally storyline. A lot of those little beats from the second volume kind of got peppered in. How was your thoughts on that? Because that was a little confusing for me. Like,
to me, and this is kind of to my point earlier, is I think I said they could have broken this up. Like I said, as much as I don't want to say that this needs to be more episodes, it needed to be more episodes, or it needed to be split, like a split season. Like, hey, you know what? Let's focus on developing these characters in like season 1, half 1, and then go into that to half 2, because Netflix is starting to do that with some of their shows too. Kind of one that comes to mind is with Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. They had like the first run of 12 episodes, and then they're taking a break, and then they're going to have the second run of 12 episodes.
It's all technically season 1, like at that point.
1. but it said it's that split where he kind of gives you kind of enough time kind of to digest the characters and understand the characters and really focus on that. And then I said, go looking forward to the second half. I think this show could have benefited from that. Like I said, just because the source material is so unknown to a lot of people. Like, so for example, when I was at work this week talking to a couple people about it, like no one had ever heard of like Umbrella Academy, and I said, oh yeah, I saw this as a recommended show on Netflix, and I started watching it and I really liked it. It's like, but I had no idea about it. I'm like, and I had to kind of explain kind of what it was and like kind of some of the backstory. I said kind of the backstory behind it. I said everyone's blown away that Gerard Way, like I said, made a comic book. I'm like, but yeah, no, that he made a comic book.
He's technically on number 2 because he's also responsible for Penny Parker.
Yeah.
So he's actually made it into Marvel with writing comics.
He did the new run of Doom Patrol too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did.
He gets around.
Yeah.
So
which is interesting kind of side note for everybody, but yeah.
So I think it just, like I said, I think that the main thing that kind of detracted me from the show, just because, like I said, especially with being familiar with the source material, is, like I said, I think they, as much as I don't want to, I think they could have stretched this out a little bit more, to really give you those backstories, like I said, in a little bit cleaner fashion, and then move on to, like I said, kind of the main storylines.
Honestly, I think it would have benefited from keeping the Apocalypse storyline. And I get they didn't want the cult that runs the symphony in the comics to be kind of the main antagonist. I actually kind of like it having it be Leonard, the one guy who kind of understands that Vanya has powers to. I almost like that a little bit better, right? That was. It was just this one guy kind of manipulating things kind of outside of everybody's eye shot.
It was kind of like he was a conductor of an orchestra, but all the different players in the orchestra were the Umbrella Academy kids.
Oh, shit.
It's called like a metaphor or something.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
metaphor, yeah. Ooh.
Drop of knowledge.
So I almost like that concept better, but I would have liked it to focus on them figuring out that whole situation and going through that without any of the time travel commission stuff. Have them prevent the apocalypse and then have the commission stuff be the consequence of that. And then you can still have time traveling back to that first season to make adjustments to it, right? Sure. Redo parts of that first setup, much like they do in the comics, is go back and jump through time a lot more often. I really think it would have played out better if they would have followed that template laid out in the comics a little bit better for how the two stories should have been laid out.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why they... Go ahead, Larry.
Well, what was it? Like the first 6 episodes are all kind of backstory setting stuff up. It's not until like episode 7 that they even care that the apocalypse is happening, right? Number 5 drops it pretty early on, but like everybody's like, whatever. Like we got our own stuff going on. Mm-hmm. Like it's totally just brushed over. It's not until episode 7. So that's only like, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 4 episodes where they kind of address that. Like I'm with you. I like the 10 episode thing, but like they probably need another episode or 2 to properly kind of draw out the whole like cliffhanger finale. Because that last couple episodes, even though like it was a little predictable, it felt a little rushed at the end too.
Yeah,
I think it's weird. I understand they want to slim down the shows, but they have this platform that they could really build the show. And to all your guys' points, not knowing anything about the comic beforehand, it would benefit me just to know more about these characters because I could get more invested that way.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder why they make these choices where they don't do that and they try to kind of rush towards the end. So, just take your time.
I kind of have an idea for that, but it's this. Jeremy, you hinted on this earlier that they got rid of these Netflix shows, but superhero shows and that kind of those ilk are kind of a big thing right now. Is this, huh?
I say you don't say.
You don't say. Is this their way of basically, did they rush through the currently written material so they can start delving into their own storylines and kind of make their own paths for some of these characters? Like, that's kind of my thought. Is I wonder if they combine both seasons just to be like, here's the characters, here's the world building, here's what's going on, and all right, we've done the comics. Now we can write our own shows and make this an ongoing series or an ongoing path for them to take for their own team up.
So I think there might be, honestly, in regards to kind of how conspiracy theories go, I think there might be some truth to that, just because of how fast this show got renewed. This show got renewed faster than Stranger Things, and so we all know how big Stranger Things is. And so this show got renewed a week after it had debuted, for a second season, and I think. Obviously, because since Netflix doesn't share that their streaming numbers, I think there was a big bump in streaming from this, saying, "Hey, you know what? They took a chance with this, the material to begin with, and it's they probably got their streaming numbers back, and it seemed to have worked for them in their favor. So now they hey, let's go ahead and develop this into a series. Let's maybe develop these characters a little bit more, and so now I think they can actually even go into their own storylines."
Right. Well. And I'm looking in the chat here, and the scenes brings up a really good point. Even in the comic books, they only focus on 7 out of those 43 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They really haven't brought up any of the other people with superpowers and what are their powers and what happened to those kids that didn't get adopted by Hargraves.
Yeah, that's an easy Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead spin-off, right? Like you could totally expand that universe because like Scene said, there's a lot of other kids that we don't know anything about.
Yeah, create like a whole new villain and a team of its own.
Yeah,
that
I mean that's not reading the comic books. That's one of the that was one of the things I'm like, well, what happened to all these other kids? Like I know that there's these 7 here that have powers. Like everybody else has to have powers too, right? Like doesn't anyone else realize this?
Has none of the other kids made the news, or is it because they didn't have somebody to train them properly that they didn't do anything astonishing? It is interesting that they left that cliffhanger, and even in the comics, they left a cliffhanger of where are these other kids?
Yeah, I mean, like the Umbrella Academy's out there; they're on the news. They're fighting bank robbers and stuff. Everyone knows that they were born on the same day and this rich eccentric guy adopted them. Like if that was my birthday, I'd be like, wait a minute, do I have powers too? Like I find it hard to believe that like another 5 or 6 kids didn't team up to be like the West Coast Umbrella Academy or something.
or find this academy and like, hey, can you help me? Because I need help using my powers.
Right. Like I totally find Hargraves and be like, hey, what's up, dude? I got better powers than number 2.
I saw you on TV. I want to join your team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I be one of these kids that like have action figures and comic books and other things? Like in that universe, they were the X-Men. Like at the time, like for their universe, like there was comic books and toys and shit created of them.
As would be expected, right? They are celebrities. So they still are.
So I think to that point, I think Netflix can go any which way of directions. I think honestly they can use this show to kind of honestly build a universe without having to actually worry about all the licensing, since they actually own the license to this now. So I think that it's not something that's on lease to them. They actually own the license, the actual production license for it. So I think they can actually spin this off into multiple different series, multiple different spin-offs. You can even do like series like spin-offs, like so for example, like you know how you had like the in the X-Men, we could keep on comparing it to the X-Men, so we might as well use this example too. So you have the X-Men movies, but then you had the spin-off movies like Logan, or you had the spin-off movies like this. So you can actually do spin-off movies of characters, or spin-off shows of some of these characters, really developing them as a character and really develop them, and then bring them back into a more hierarchical type show.
Yeah, right. I totally watch a number 5 show.
That's a genius idea.
I love the idea of number 5 too, like a 50-something-year-old man trapped in his 14-year-old body.
Yeah,
but
well, and he went back in time and he was involved in the JFK assassination. Like there's stories there,
right?
True. Like a quantum leap style number 5, like going all over through time.
Right, killing. What was it? He was supposed to. He started World War I with Franz Ferdinand, right? showed him assassinating him. He assassinated Stalin. Like,
and he would take like one of the kids with him each time, and it's like a specific mission based on their abilities. You know, like, hey, I need your help because you're good at this.
Yeah, like having that. But I freaking love number 5 in that when he's back in the kid's body. That kid actor also did very well to portray like an adult, but still keep his like you said, he wears his little like short like school kid uniform, but he's like asking for coffee and like
he's like 50 years old or something, right?
Yeah,
gets like shit-faced drunk as like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's pretty amazing.
Just wants a good cup of coffee, man. Who doesn't?
Yeah. All right. So that way we can have some leftover room in the episodes for the other to talk about. Let's go with our overall STS Guys rating out of 5. Scott, let's go ahead and start with you.
You know I'm always going to be on the high end, but for me, there was some problems. But I am so excited for season 2 in the future of this. I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I wanted to love it, but I just liked it. 2.5.
I've only seen one episode, so my weighting is a little lowered here. But I would say from what I've seen in episode 1, 3.5. I'm going to keep watching it and see where it goes.
All right. So I think this is the first time we've been different on everything too. I'm going to go a straight 3. So I said I liked it. I think it had some high points, and I think it being renewed for a second season kind of gave me some hope that they can kind of flush it out a little bit more. And kind of basically kind of rearrange and kind of slow down some of the different storylines and kind of explain a lot of the different backstories. So I said mine's a solid 3, and then it makes me look forward to the second season.
I have a very hopeful outlook for. I'm going to say season 2 and beyond. Yeah. Like honestly, because I really don't think they're going to stop at 2. Like we'll at least get a couple seasons of this, and I'm really excited for it.
Ditto.
You know what else I'm really excited for?
What?
Balls.
Number 2.
Number 2, going poopies.
I'm excited for all the new toys coming out of Toy Fair.
Well, I'm excited. Hey. I'm excited for that too.
They revealed some crazy stuff at Toy Fair.
Yeah, Toy Fair was a couple weeks ago, but we haven't talked about it like at all. Like I haven't talked to Jeremy about any of the Funko stuff. Like Nate and I talked a little bit about the Mezco stuff, but
right. Mezco stuff?
I see some Mezco stuff in your background right there, Scott.
Oh, what is that?
There you see the backpack. Oh, wait, what?
Mezco did something really cool this year that they have not done in any other of the years of Toy Fair. Because Toy Fair, if you guys know, it's an event for all of press to come and check out all the new stuff being revealed from all these big toy companies. You got Hasbro, you got Mattel, Mezco, Sideshow Collectibles, Funko. I mean, you got all these different companies there. So Mezco, they always show their new stuff, but they always have 2 exclusives that are at the show. And this year it was Blade, and it looks like maybe Blade 3 style Blade, where he's in like the red and the black. Really cool looking figure. But they also had this Agent Gomez. And for anybody that knows anything about Mezco, their mascot is Gomez. It's like this ant head. And you see it all over the place with their, merchandise and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's their main logo.
Yeah, right. Their main logo. And they've done it.
I have one here. Let me see if I can see if I have.
It's on your bag right there.
Yeah, you can kind of see. You can kind of see it on the bag. I guess that's the best one to pull up.
So they revealed this Agent Gomez figure, which was really cool looking. It's like a guy in a suit, but he's an ant. He's got an ant head. Has like a classic ant head. He has a roach head that he comes with. This skull, totally random, totally unexpected. It comes loaded with stuff. I was actually really kind of sad when I saw it at Toy Fair. That was a Toy Fair only exclusive. I was like, no way, that was be a really cool figure, because not only is it a mascot for Mezco, it's the first one of their kind in the 112 line, which is that line of figures that I collect. So I really wanted to get my hands on it. And sure enough, just randomly, they dropped a buy it now on the rest of their Toy Fair stock. And I happened to be sitting next to, Larry and Scott at the time, like, dude, they just dropped this exclusive. We all went and grabbed it, and within like 20 minutes, it was gone. Yeah. But the cool thing is you get the Toy Fair bag, you get the pins that they gave you, all these Toy Fair goodies. It's the exact version from the
catalog.
show. Yeah, the catalog of upcoming figures, and that's the first time they've ever done that. So I was really stoked to get one.
Wait, so
and they shipped like they shipped that day.
It was that day. So I think, what was it, Tuesday that we ordered it. I had mine on Monday.
Me too.
So like less than a week, I had the device, and it came with a whole bunch of goodies. Like, I'll hold it up here. There's like a lanyard, some pins, like.
It was pretty cool bonus items.
Yeah, it was cool that they kind of hooked it up for anybody who got that. It was like being able to go to, not being able to go to Toy Fair, because let's be honest, all of us would give an arm and a leg to go to Toy Fair.
Yes,
but it was like being able to get. It was cool to be able to get some of the stuff that was exactly what was there at Toy Fair, right? Versus having to get something that's like, this isn't the version, like we have like a dumbed down version, like the Blade that Mezco has. Like, they have the non-Toy Fair one, which is not as cool as the Toy Fair one. So,
well, there was I saw on Twitter before these dropped on Tuesday, like there's some outrage in the Mezco community that people were definitely upset that they couldn't get a hold of this. So it's really cool that Mezco was able to throw up what they had in stock online on Tuesday. And then what was the next day? They threw up like a ton for pre-order that aren't going to be ready to ship until like September. So I feel like almost everybody who wanted to get one, Jeremy, was able at least to get a pre-order in. So they have one coming later on this year.
Yeah, they actually did it later that day. It was like 4 or 5 p.m. or something like that. And they put up a second run of the figure, which, to Larry's point, it's not going to come out until summer, but it's the same figure, and it comes with issue number 0 of the comic that they're making to introduce this Agent Gomez character.
That's pretty cool too. There's going to be a comic book for this thing. That's pretty
right.
Cool.
Yeah, which makes you think they're probably going to add characters. You know, if the characters do well, they can kind of expand and make their own universe, and they don't have a license to deal with, so they can kind of do whatever they want to with these figures. And that's
how it ties into our Umbrella Academy, right?
Yeah.
If you don't get the license that you want from Marvel and all that, make your own. Like, make your own stuff.
Wait a minute, Scott. Are you pitching out the idea of an Agent Gomez Netflix series?
100%. I want to watch a dude with an ant head beat the shit out of people. Yeah, like, who wouldn't watch that?
Well, it's cool. They actually released this stop motion video that Mezco made to show off the figure before it was released at Toy Fair. It's just more of like, hey, what is this Agent Gomez? And it's a short video of Gomez taking a sniper rifle out of his boombox, because his boombox is like his gun case. He actually comes with really cool stuff. It's like a sniper rifle that comes together in different pieces. So it shows you putting it together, and then he takes a shot. And at the end, they have like more coming. So they're trying to expand on this new idea of this figure. It's a cool thing that they haven't done before.
I think I see the value in this, especially if they can expand it into other characters. Because Nate, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, I knew you were going to go after this. I said you being the Mezco lover that you are, but honestly, for a completely different reason. Just because I said, well, especially because he comes with the different accessories and he comes with that skull head, it's a nondescript villain that you can use in your photography. And
exactly.
I think that I said, and especially with these unique characters and these other characters that you can kind of introduce into your photography, I think it just gives you a different kind of aspects, even some background characters that you can then use in order to kind of enhance your photography that much more.
Yeah, perfectly said, man. I have ideas of who I want him to be, because he has that cool suit and it looks normal. If you take the head off, he looks like a normal dude. So I want to put like a Bruce Wayne head on there, make him like a Bruce Wayne or a Tony Stark, or like you said, some nondescript bad guy in the background. It really adds a different level of uniqueness to the line.
It is a very versatile looking character. Like, and that wasn't the reason why I liked it, because I normally don't buy Mezcos, but I saw that and I was like, dude, I want that. Like, I love the idea of that whole thing, and like just the look of it was amazing.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't really collect Mezcos either, but I grabbed one. The fact that they were selling for, I don't know, $1,500 on eBay at the time didn't hurt my decision making, but it's a really cool fig. I thought of something else just now too, dude. Like, you could do like people versus Gomez too, right? You can do like Punisher versus Gomez. You can do Shazam versus Gomez. You can just do kind of that idea where Gomez is this villain and come up with your own like Gomez hashtag and just make it a thing.
So
I love that idea. Actually,
that one specific image right now, and so Nate, I'm gonna share my screen right now. So there's this image right here. So he's flipping he's flipping you off. Like I said, I can see Deadpool and Gomez kind of going at it. I think that would be awesome, kind of mash up right there.
But and it kind of hints to the fact that this is kind of, we're going to call this character kind of an assassin, right? Like that's what they're making him out to be. So that definitely leads into kind of like, Jeremy, you bring up Deadpool, like the whole Deadpool kills the Marvel universe kind of a setup. Like I think this character leads into a great thing where you can be like, as Larry said, you could pit him up against like, how would he kill Superman, or how would he take out Batman? Like, make him into this kind of Agent 47 level character, right? Is what I kind of picture them.
Well, that's what Nate
out
can
as
do.
that character, yeah.
Right?
And
what we all can just do too.
Right.
Cool.
You guys are giving me some great ideas, though.
Yeah,
for sure. Though, I mean, you see these characters, and for me, you know, I do the toy photography, so my instant thought is, how can I use that in a shot? And you guys read my mind. You know, I can try to put different heads on him, make him different characters, make him a villain. You know, have him interact with like Deadpool. He's got that middle finger. You know, he's got some cool stuff that he comes with. So it's really adds to the accessories that I can use. You know, you can use that boombox in a Deadpool shot maybe, or in like a Spider-Man shot, or, you know.
Well, I'm just thinking like I said, with that boombox specifically, like Deadpool with a say anything like type of pose.
Yeah. Yes.
Like how awesome would that be?
Oh yeah,
for sure. And yeah, I mean, and that wasn't the only thing. I know we're focusing a lot on Gomez, but Mezco really like came out strong. They're doing like a comic Wonder Woman. They're doing a Michael Keaton Batman, which is amazing.
Nice.
It looks
the question I have: will his head be able to swivel?
It's funny you say
really
that.
Can they lock it so that he has to?
Yeah,
do the whole.
You can mold it, man. You have to.
Honestly, if you get that Michael Keaton Batman, which I know you are.
Oh yeah.
If you ever turn his goddamn head, I will chastise you in that video. Its shoulders and body has to go with him at the.
Yeah, and it looks like, because the different heads that he comes with 3 head sculpts, and it's the cowl and the head all in one. I have a feeling that the head's still going to move, but you're going to replace the whole thing instead of just the head itself. But yeah,
so they're hoping to get the old stiff neck Michael Keaton Batman back.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Classic.
But they revealed the movie Hellboy. So the new movie Hellboy, they've got a figure of that coming, which looks really cool. They revealed what Captain Marvel is going to look like. They got Pennywise coming out to expand on their horror line. They have another Michael Myers coming out. I mean, they've got all kinds of stuff. They revealed more of Ghost Rider. Some really, really cool figs coming up in the next year or so.
Nice. You dropped an unboxing video after our last podcast, right? For that Mezco exclusive purple Catwoman.
Yeah.
So that's out there on our YouTube channel.
Definitely go check that out if you guys haven't seen it already. It's a really cool figure. I actually like the purple suit more than the black. Really pops in photos. I love taking shots of it. And you guys can see a shot that I did on our Instagram story, actually.
Yeah. And the thumbnail for the video is a picture you actually took too.
Larry,
right,
and his Photoshop skills made as our logo for the video.
Yep.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, Mezco wasn't the only company that brought out some stuff. I know Funko had some big things that they showed too, right? Oh, Jeremy's got the thumbnail. Catwoman up there.
Yep, there's the thumbnail. That's a nice looking shot, especially with the purple lighting in the background.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
The purple looks, especially like on my, like you, I think you texted it to me or something, and it looked good on my phone. But once I put it up on my computer, like that purple really popped. It was really cool.
Yeah, I've got these awesome LED multicolor lights that just are super bright, and you know you can bounce it off the background. I love using them. I use them all the time now. But thanks, guys.
No problem.
So tell us about Funko.
Yeah, for the Funko collectors, what's the news?
What are you talking about? I don't like
Funko.
What is all that behind you?
They just dropped what, like 200 something announcements, or like 200 pops, plus mystery minis and all the other random stuff that they do. I don't know, like off the top of my head, because there's so much. I think my favorite announcement, because I'm currently watching / rewatching the show, was they're finally making pops for The Office. So that was pretty cool.
You didn't tell me this before.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't know?
That is okay. That number of announcements is so hard to keep up with. Like when they dropped as many as they did, like that was a lot in a short period of time.
But as somebody who likes Funko as much as I know me and Jeremy do, it makes for a really fun day. They dropped, I think it was every 15 minutes, they did a new announcement.
I pulled up the list.
All right.
Here. Like check out. So let me focus on for a second.
Jeez.
So here's all the announcements. So it started off with Kiss, then 15 minutes later, Johnny Cash, then NSYNC, then Post Malone.
At 5:15 a.m.
Yeah. So except this list goes on and on and on and on and on.
I remember it was like a Saturday, and I woke up and my Instagram was just blowing up. There's just so many things being announced that you couldn't keep up with all of it. It's like, holy crap, there's so much crap coming out.
Yep. Yeah, there's so much stuff coming out. Like I said, some highlights that I'm looking forward to. Honestly, The Office. I'm looking forward to like I said, these new Kiss Pops. Let me see if it'll actually bring up a picture. Oh yeah. These new guys, I said, look awesome. Like just because like I said, they're in their band poses too. Just to be, like I said, if I get these, like I said, which I'm probably going to, from shumistore.com.
I was gonna say this is a perfect lead-in for Larry Shill.
Yeah. You can save 10%.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Entertainment Earth.
Yeah. Boo.
But like I said, I'm actually going to put these out of box in their band form. I'm like, just because I'm like that. It looks really awesome. So
I honestly thought, Jeremy, you were gonna click on NSYNC.
Well, like with Pops looked a long time ago, but they're super expensive. Stuff that I could never afford, not that I can't afford right now, that I don't want to pay for. But now I'm glad that they're doing that. But then they started coming out with some really cool stuff. Let me see if I can find
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons. Like I said, you have The Simpsons.
I'm stoked for those.
I said all those are coming out. So you have your Bartman, you have your Radio.
Yes.
You finally get a Maggie. I said a Maggie. You get a Lisa. You get a Grandpa Simpson. You get a Mo.
Mo's pretty cool.
I love that Bartman.
That's 7 Simpsons pops. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Is Larry salivating right now?
Well, because Larry is what your Simpsons complete right now.
I am 4 for 4, man.
Yeah. Larry's definitely the Simpsons aficionado of the group.
So I'm gonna try to be Simpsons complete. We'll see what they throw at me though.
Yeah, but then
dude, those Garfield pops are pretty cool. Like I'm just like scroll through. There's so much cool stuff.
That actually like the best is I said they
those are so
pop towns, which I think this is like I said in terms of like I said things that aren't just a pop. These have me probably the most excited, just because like I said they're bringing basically these iconic buildings into so you can actually build these little Funko towns with all these little buildings.
Yeah, this is such a great idea. Like.
Funko. Forget movie moments, forget all the other, other stuff like that. These have me probably the most excited for basically not just a pop.
Yes.
Because these things are pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
me too. What they do, Scooby-Doo and SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Plus we're looking at the Ghostbusters one too if you're on an audio version. Yeah. But I already got my pre-order in for the Ghostbusters one. That one's really cool.
Those look awesome. And I mean, it never ceases to amaze me the licensing that they can get and the quality of these figures. I mean, they really look really good. Yeah. And, they continue to add like the building pieces. I think are cool. First, they had the rides. Funko is just great with the creativity. I love it.
Yeah. Wait, go down to the very bottom because after this, because I saw something.
So yeah, there's your Office Pops.
There you go. And you got Jim's Halpert's the book face.
Yes. Kevin holding the pot of chili.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that reference a week ago or whatever when they announced this. But I watched that episode this week, and I'm like, oh my god, I get the chili reference now.
Do me a favor, Jeremy. Go down towards the bottom.
All right.
5:45 p.m.
Otter
Pop pops.
They don't pop up yet. But yeah,
no, I want to know.
They're on Shumi.
Yeah, they're on Shumi. Otter Pops.
So they're making figures of the Otter Pop characters. Yeah. That's amazing.
They do have cool. They do have the otter pops. And then I said I actually really like the Jaws pops too.
Is that Bruce?
Yeah, the shark. The shark's really cool.
The shark is really cool. Like this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you have a Quint too. Like
I love how they have two different versions. One with the propane tank in his mouth.
Yeah, his eyes were black like a doll's eyes.
Which I said that would have been awesome if it was a chase.
It almost probably should have been.
Yeah.
What if they'll make one? Do they always show the chases? Like maybe they'll have one with blood on his mouth, and an arm in his teeth.
You know what, dude? They didn't show any chases during the Toy Fair stuff, so they usually don't. They don't show.
They showed one.
Did they?
It was in the. Where's the office at again?
Jim. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jim.
Yeah. So they didn't show many chases at least. Yeah. So I'd say there's a chance that they can still do that. They don't show store exclusives really either. There were just a couple of store exclusives. So there's still some opportunities. Plus con stuff, right? Like any of these lines could have an SDCC exclusive or New York Comic Con or any of that too. So there's still plenty of opportunities for a thing like a Bloody Shark or like glow in the dark BTS. Like who knows?
Yeah, like
or a shark with Quint in his mouth.
I had no idea what this was, but apparently this was a thing.
Yeah, it was. Funko said that was their most liked, commented on post of the entire day. So
I had
K-pop baby.
Yeah. K-pop is
all about that K-pop.
Surprisingly popular.
Me likey.
Yeah.
But other than I said all the Toy Fair announcements, I said there was one other kind of fairly big announcement, huh, Larry?
For what?
Funko.
Emerald City? Oh no, Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Funko is going to Hollywood with a new store, right? They have their HQ in Everett, but they're opening a store right on Hollywood Boulevard, apparently. Like just a stone throw away from the Chinese theater. So right there by the Walk of Fame and all that stuff, man.
They did their movie premiere and just liked it so much. They're like, yeah, screw it. We're going to.
It makes sense.
We're going to make a store right here.
You guys must be so stoked for that.
40,000 square foot store.
Yeah.
That, like I said, so they just announced it, but apparently they've been building, like I said, all the pieces for it already up in Everett. So it's actually going to be ready in October. So
that's really quick.
Yeah. So they're opening up this store in October, apparently.
So STS Guys road trip in October.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Brian said it should be open by Halloween. So. Yeah, like it depends on when it is. I was thinking too, like as much as I'd like to be there for the grand opening, which when push comes to shove, I'm probably going to be there for the grand opening. Like if we all plan on going to Designer Con like in November again, which is in Anaheim, which we can just drive up to LA. Like if we don't go for the grand opening, I'm at least going to plan a trip in November. And I'm going to do Designer Con. I'm going to do Disneyland again. And yeah, I'm going up to LA to go to the Funko store for sure.
I was gonna say you guys must be so stoked because I always hear you guys talking about like Sunday I gotta go to the Funko store, and now one's coming to you.
Yep, I still want to go up to Everett, right? But Washington is a lot further away than Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be 6-hour drive versus 6-hour plane ride. Which one's more expensive?
Yeah. I went to LA or I went to California like 4 or 5 times last year. Like I it's so easy. It's going to happen. And like Jeremy said, it's a huge store. It's going to have different stuff. My mind's kind of blown right now, like that they're going to do this again. And as soon as this one's probably done, they're probably going to start working on the next location.
New York.
No, honestly, it's going to be an East
Times
Coast.
Square. Yeah, Times Square.
A Times Square store. Like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. If Funko wasn't big enough already, they're going to be a behemoth with these retail stores popping up.
It would be good on Vegas too.
Oh yeah,
Vegas would be
good. I could see them trying to hit East Coast.
Yeah, you got to
do another Southwest.
Well, that's what everybody's been complaining about. Like, why is all this stuff on the West Coast? I'm like, and I'm sitting over here as a West Coast kid. Like, I don't care, man. This is awesome. But yeah, like as a company, you got to do East Coast.
On the West Coast.
What?
So there's more cool companies on the West Coast.
It's true, man. But yeah, like East Coast, and then maybe they come back to like Midwest or Vegas or something.
I could see cool. maybe New York or like Boston, and then coming back to
I
like
think
Vegas.
I think they're talking like Tokyo or something too, like international, which
would
make sense because like as a stockholder, I would love to see them keep growing their international presence.
Same here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Iron Archer's down. Iron Archer's down for Vegas, of course.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That's just a hop, skip, and jump away from you, man. So yeah,
that just seems like it makes so much sense in Vegas.
Yeah,
it does. You could have like Vegas themed exclusives. You know, I mean, that's you got some.
Well, cool that's there. What LA is going to be too, right? Like the one in Seattle, they've got a Freddy Funko, their mascot guy, like holding the Space Needle. Like there's going to be some type of like Hollywood Southern California.
It's going to be the Hollywood sign or like a Sunset Boulevard
movie star.
Or something. Yeah,
something. Walk of Fame, Freddy.
Yeah. Right. Like it's going to be cool, and I'm going to want it. And when they opened the HQ, like they had exclusive that you could only get at the grand opening, and that's why I'm like, if I can go to the grand opening, I'm probably going to go to the grand opening. Kevin Smith lives right down the street from that stuff, right? And he was in Seattle. He's probably going to the LA one. Like
you already know I'm going to the grand opening. If we can get to the grand opening, we're going to the grand opening.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. They can start having events where these stores are.
Yeah.
So you can see like
they've had some cool signings. They had like a football player like Steve Largent from the Seahawks did an autograph signing there. They had Zack Ryder come up when WWE was in town. They've had some of that kind of stuff. But dude, this is Hollywood. Like everybody lives there.
Yeah, they could have their Funko Fun Day event at these stores, you know? That'd be crazy.
That's so no fun days, but they can have other events, which they've done in Seattle, which is cool too, which I hadn't thought of. Which is crazy because that means that's a whole lot easier to get to now too than it is to Seattle. So I think I just need to move to California, man. Right? Disney, it's
a couple $100 it's just only a couple $100 to get on a plane.
It's true, or drive, right? Yeah. 6 hours and you're there.
Your wallet's like, I don't need another excuse for this now.
Why do you keep going to California? We can't afford this.
I know. Like literally, I've probably said this before, but when 2018 last year, when 2018 started, I'm like, all right, this is the year we don't go to California anymore. Because like we always go to California, whether it's San Diego Comic-Con or, Universal Studios, that kind of stuff. Like I always go to California. That's all I do, or all my family does. I'm like, all right, this year we don't go at all. And we literally went like 5 times. Right, it started in January with the stupid Making Fun premieres. Like, all right, like took me like 3 weeks before I ruined that, and I just kept going back.
There's so many cool things that go on in California. It's hard to stay away. Yeah, like San Diego, I told myself I wouldn't go, and then I realized, it's the golden year. I got to go this year. Maybe next year I won't go.
Yeah, I'm hoping you're going to have some company on that trip too.
God, I hope you guys can join me on that.
Yeah,
I hope
Fingers, toes, and eyes are crossed.
We got our fingers crossed for San Diego. So
yeah, it's only like it's March. It's only like 2 months till we start figuring out something for fun days too.
Yeah, true. And they're going to be doing the hotel sales soon, so I hope they start telling us so we can plan for it.
Time to jump on that. Yeah,
it's coming quick, man.
Yeah. So exciting times. Some cool stuff coming.
So cool. So I'm going to go right here. So we've been talking about toys and Funkos and all that stuff. So Larry, I think it's time for you to do your thing.
So, So if you want to get any of those Toy Fair Pops Jeremy mentioned, they are almost every single one is available for pre-order right now at shumistore.com. If you go to shumistore.com and you get those Simpsons Pops you want, you get those Office Pops you want, you get all the Pops you want, enter code STS Guys to save 10%. And Shumi's going to hit you up with that mint box guarantee. So you're going to get a perfect condition pop to add to your awesome collection. Shumi just dropped an app today on Android and iPhone too. So look for that in your app store. Just search in Shumi. And guess what? That code STS Guys, it's going to work on the Shumi app too. So check that out and buy yourself some new pops.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to save money?
Exclusives.
Yeah, there we go. Look at all that. You got BTS, you got The Simpsons, you got Green Giant, the Jolly Green Giant. You got everything. It's pretty rad.
You have Batman with the nipples.
Nipples.
Yes.
You know what? That's what modern day superheroes are missing. Visible nipples. And it's visible nipples and extenuated cod pieces. Like I want more superheroes with that.
More copy.
I'm a simple man.
Look at that. Kool-Aid Man finally coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
that one's cool. I'm gonna get that one, especially it's probably gonna be kind of clearish.
Yeah.
I gotta get the Kool-Aid Man pop.
That's really cool.
I know a code you can use.
Yeah, get yourself
Is it STS Guys?
Yeah. As Iron Archer Film says, shameless plug.
Very shameless.
Hey,
you got it.
It's a shameless plug, but it's also trying to save everybody money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and like one thing I thought of,
guys are gonna buy them.
Like, one thing I thought of too, like, yeah, you can go to Target or Walmart or Amazon and buy some pops, but like, support a small business. Go to shumistore.com and, you know, just help them out. Like, Amazon's got enough money, man.
Like, it's seriously though, no joke. Like I said, Shumi's protectors are amazing that he ships in.
They are the best.
So, like, I'm just gonna put this in perspective. I don't have them near me, otherwise I'd grab them right now. So I pre-ordered, like I said, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel Studios 10-year anniversary pops. So all the golden pops. So I got those in the mail. They literally traveled with me from Arizona to Texas. I said in a suitcase, and literally nothing but their protectors. I said that's how awesome those protectors are.
Nice.
So like I said he has a mint box guarantee. He's only going to send you good stuff. Like I said, and if it's not good enough, he doesn't pack it. He doesn't ship it out. So like I said,
yeah, I don't know if you've seen those videos. Like, he's showing videos of them going through the pops, and they literally look at one by one, check it out, put it in a protector. If it's damaged, they set it to the side, and no one's getting damaged pops from Shumi, man.
It just gives you peace of mind, because as a collector, you're like, man, I need the box to be in good condition. I hope they take proper precaution, because sometimes, as you've seen with some other companies, they'll just throw it in there. All bent.
Like, for example, too, like, so then you're also getting, said, like, Kool-Aid Man, he's not upcharging, I said, the price of the pop. It's $9.45 for the pop. Like, it's not, like I said, and that's $9.45 with a protector. So
it's a pretty good price.
What's without using our code STS Guys to save you 10%.
Yeah, I finally got my Colonel Sanders that I pre-ordered off Amazon, and it looks like somebody sat on it. Like, it's just squished, man. So no more Amazon for me. I am 100% in on Shumi.
I honestly think the guy who is usually the Amazon driver has decided that instead of coming to my front door, he's just going to punt all of my boxes to the front door. Just stand at the sidewalk and try to make it that like 30 feet to my front door.
Well, dude, they've got a quota, man. You gotta get those packages delivered.
Fire away.
Yeah, literally fire away.
Yeah.
So you know what else you should also fire away, Larry? Is our closing shill.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead and shill it, Larry. Do it.
So what you're saying is, while you're on the internet, you should probably fire up Instagram and go follow us at STS Guys. We're on Twitter, which I've been posting more stuff on Twitter lately. You can follow us at STS Guys. And we're, of course, on the Facebook at the STS Guys. And I am Larry from the STS Guys.
Chilling like a villain.
We will also be increasing our YouTube content here really soon, within the next month or so. So I know we mentioned that Mezco unboxing that Nate did, but we've been slacking on YouTube content. But head over to STSguys.online. You can watch us live every Saturday night. And I promise more unboxing, some more gaming content coming within like the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. So
to see that Agent Gomez that I was talking about earlier, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of that soon. Nice. So stay tuned to our channel to check it out.
Yeah, so literally part of the problem with a lot of the content is, like I said, we're all like post move, we're all like in move processes. So like I said, I am finalized with my move, so I'm gonna start producing some more content. Larry is gonna be finalized with his move here towards the end of the month. Like I said,
I'm just starting mine,
and Scott starting his. So it's like, we have different things coming. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube right now, I'm sitting at my dining room table. I literally. The KFC pop, I've got like 3 pops in my house right now, and that's it. The rest are in storage. So my house is a little boring right now. It's kind of sad.
I'm crazy for us all lately.
Storage.
Yeah,
like I know. It continues on, people. Like this. Like I'm gonna give you a little taste. Look at that.
Dun dun dun.
Nice. It looks good, man. I was at the new house today. It's looking good. I was doing some measurements to see where I could put all my stuff. So
nice.
Couple more weeks.
Enough room for your pops?
My tiny office will have enough room for pops and not much else. Who needs
to see it.
a bed
Yeah.
when you've got Pops.
All right.
You can lay them on the ground and make them into a bed.
Nice.
The collection is what is important. The collection must go on.
Yeah, I've got my priorities in the right spot.
That's
All right. Number 1, where do I put my Batman Megadorbs?
Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
Perfect.
So
I miss that guy.
for episode 73 of the STS Guys, I have been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, it's been Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.